Welcome to This Explainer. I'm Professor Oscar Catwood, and today we're diving into a story that is literally all about waking up. Have you ever had that sneaking suspicion that the everyday world is just a surface layer, like a facade hiding something way bigger? Well, today we're following two characters from our source text, Kale and Alara, who realize the reality we've all been sold is actually hiding a massive, almost magical cosmic truth. Imagine waking up to the super uncomfortable truth that humanity has been fundamentally fooled. I mean, from orbit, Earth looks like this lonely, minor rock circling a completely ordinary star, right? But what Kyle discovers is that if you look through the right lens, we are actually the most closely watched world in the entire galaxy.
The text tells us something so validating, you aren't crazy. You've just been handed the wrong map. Kyle experiences this shift firsthand simply by breathing. As his racing thoughts finally quiet down, the illusion just shatters. He sees that space isn't empty darkness at all. It is alive. It's pulsing with structure, plasma currents, and these incredible glowing filaments connecting all the stars.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the hidden galactic jewel, Earth's true nature. Astronomically, we're taught Earth is just a floating rock in a minor spiral galaxy, sort of a boring textbook view. But Cahel sees the truth, and it's breathtaking. Earth is a brilliantly glowing node in a massive galactic circuit. She's banded with these dense layers of a field woven entirely from the consciousness of millions of minds. So Earth isn't just a rock, she is a living, breathing jewel in the crown of a deeply alive universe.
Alara explains this to Kyle using this absolutely beautiful metaphor. She says, think of every inhabited world as a musical tone. And because of the sheer density of human emotion and our free will, Earth's note is rich, it's complex, and honestly, it's highly unstable. But here's the kicker. What happens here ripples outward. Our collective mood literally tunes what she calls the galactic chord.
Which brings us to Section 2, How We Were Fooled, the Architecture of Deception. So you're probably wondering, if Earth is so vital and glowing, why do we feel so disconnected and broken? Enter the shadows, in a system called the Darchitect. Now, they don't invade from the sky with laser beams, they invade our minds. They hijack our deep psychological archetypes. They take symbols meant to empower us, and they quietly attach them to fear, steering human free will without us ever even noticing the strings.
You see, this parasitic system feeds entirely on dissonance. It uses inverted media narratives, twisted spiritual movements, and technologies sold to us as liberation that are, in reality, just shackles. The whole shebang has one ultimate goal: to harvest our fear, lock us into this biomechatronic control grid, and make us forget our true cosmic origins.
But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. Let's look at Section 3, Meet Your Cosmic Mentors, the Voices of Unity.
We are far from alone in this. Enter the Guardians. Now, unlike the Shadows, the Guardians flat out refuse to force our hand. They operate on the law of one, which is the fundamental truth that all life is connected. So instead of commanding us, they offer synchronicities. They just gently whisper to human consciousness, nudging us back toward wholeness, relying entirely on our own free will to actually listen.
And the text maps this out so coolly. Humans actually carry subtle resonances with different star lineages, and each one acts like a cosmic mentor. Arcturus acts as the healer, focused on mathematical elegance. The Pleiades represent community and emotional harmony. Lyra is the creator, holding light in dark places, and Sirius acts as a defender. In fact, Keel himself realizes he carries that Sirius resonance, acting as a peacekeeper in a highly contested world.
Alara even reveals her own ties to a distant council called the Perdurtians. The beauty of allies like this is that they have zero hidden agenda, no allegiance to any faction. Their only loyalty is to the truth. When we're down here about to act out of sheer panic, they simply help tilt our attention back to coherence and compassion.
Moving right along to Section 4, the Human Fault Line, the Battleground of Choice.
At one point, Kale asked the question I think we'd all ask. Do my small, everyday decisions actually matter on a cosmic scale? And Alara gives him this incredibly powerful paradox. She basically says, because we're just one tiny node in a massive field, we aren't that important. But because every single individual choice between fear and coherence tilts the energy of the entire planet, we are exactly that important.
You and I, we sit right in the middle of these two forces, as living fault lines. Guardians inspire unity, while shadows can only distort and divide. Meaning, the real war for reality isn't being fought up in the stars with spaceships, it's being fought right here in the human heart, with our everyday decisions. Do we choose to breathe through the panic, or do we give in to the division? Ultimately, the cavalry isn't coming from the sky to save us. The rescue team actually emerges from within us. The text calls it the Watcher. It's this deep, quiet memory of unity arising within our own consciousness. It's the truth speaking directly from the heart, quietly supported by our cosmic kin who never forgot who we are.
And that leads us perfectly to our final part, Section 5, Holding the Grand Chord, Reclaiming Our Reality.
So how do we actually do this? How do we dismantle the Darchitect's illusion? Well, it's through the quietest acts of defiance. Just choosing a deep breath over a moment of panic, refusing to buy into media narratives that constantly try to sell us fear or hopelessness, listening to that inner watcher, and acting as if our everyday choices actually matter to the whole world. These might sound like tiny actions, but they hold immense cosmic weight.
Because the promise here is profound. If enough of us act as bridges instead of fractured fault lines, if we just choose coherence, the Darchitect loses its grip, Earth holds its vital note, the jewel stays true in the crown, and the entire universe recalibrates around a higher integrity, literally one human heartbeat at a time.
So, as you step back into your daily life today, navigating the stress, the screens, and all that noise, I want you to remember the truth you've awakened to. You are a living fault line in a cosmic symphony. How will your next choice tune the grand chord? Will you help Earth hold the note? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this empowered your perspective just as much as it did mine.